The following may contain language that is not suitable for all audiences. It's time for the Low Fact Podcast. We need some manlier bells, dude, or a gong.
The bells are cool, bro.
They're just not manly enough.
Okay, get a gong then.
Why?
Gong would be cool.
Alright, fine. Don't you have a gong app somewhere?
I can probably download it.
Anyway, so what's on the agenda for today?
The coronavirus.
Alright, you know what I think is kind of weird about the coronavirus thus far?
What?
The only thing that really seems to work is for people not to interact with each other.
Uh-huh.
And that's, oddly enough, the one thing that they're not suggesting because they know everyone would go tell them to go fuck themselves.
But they are kind of saying that, though. They're kind of like, it's like an incremental thing.
Well, they're doing it half-assed, which I don't like. Because, you know, I'm not a half-measures type of a guy.
No, we know this. Well, I know this. The audience may not know this.
Well, they know it now. But this whole thing where, right, because, you know, it's like talking to somebody who's talking about their love of communism or a faith healer when you point out, oh, this didn't work. And I was like, well, that's because you didn't do it right. Or you didn't believe hard enough. Or you didn't try hard enough. But it seems that the only thing that works is for people not to talk to each other or interact with each other. And yet that's the one thing that they can't say because they know if they do, everyone would lose their ever-loving mind.
It seems rather convenient, though, that, to me, that the big key is just stopping everybody from interacting with each other.
Well, but it's not. The key is buy everything online.
That's what I mean.
Do stuff. No, the key is to do everything that you're usually doing.
Uh-huh.
Do it online. You know, watch your porn, buy your beer, buy your alcohol,
stay home, watch TV.
You know, make your money however it is you make your money. As long as you don't have to, as long as you have a job that allows you to make money doing whatever. But, you know, everything, the economy and everything needs to keep going, but you just need to stop talking to each other. And that's kind of what the whole social media stuff was and is in the first place. So all these people, I don't know why all these people are sitting there going, no, I need to talk to people in person.
Because they're being told they can't.
I don't know that there are that many people that are that way.
I feel like people are. I mean, I went out for a walk yesterday down in Venice Beach, and there was shit tons of people out. And I can only assume this is because they think that they're going to be told that they can't be out.
No, I think that there's a number of people out because they're sitting there going, well, it's like you. You always look at me cross-eyed when I sit there and say, when you say, I need to go be with people, I need to go to the movies or, you know, sit at a cafe. Mm-hmm. And I'm sitting there going, you're a fucking weirdo. What are you talking about be with people? You're not talking to anybody.
But I'm still around them, though.
That's what I'm saying, right? So for most people, that's enough.
Yeah.
Because, you know, when we see groups, when we used to go out and have a drink every now and then, we see groups at a dinner or something. You see 12 people sitting there not talking to each other, all on their phones.
Right.
But they're all friends and they're all sitting at the same table. And I'm sitting there going, why bother? Right? And you're telling me, no, that's good enough. That's what I want. And I'm sitting there saying, okay, I'm sorry. And I'm still sitting there saying, why bother?
I don't know, man.
Well, you can say what you were going to say.
No, it's just the difference between me. I can't stay at home for more than like a day, not being around people.
But you're not interacting with these people.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, that's what kind of throws me for a loop. You know. Okay, so if I put you if I put you on a rock with like 20 people, you know, like in March of the Penguins, where they're all just kind of standing there, that's cool.
It'd be better than being on a rock by myself.
Like if I had just gagged all of you, none of you could talk to each other, but you're all just standing there together.
Can you make eye contact?
Sure, fine.
Yes.
You're all handcuffed, bound. Your feet are bound, and you're gagged, so you can't talk, move around, or anything.
This is a stupid example.
That's cool. You would rather do that than sit in your cell.
Oh yes,
Free.
most definitely.
I guess free is relative.
If I was in a cell by myself with nothing to entertain me or
no, you got
distract
everything.
me.
You got everything. You got
Really?
books, TV. You just have to be by yourself.
No, still no. Definitely not.
Yeah, I'm the opposite.
No. I mean, you saw me after like a couple of weeks of not even real quarantine, right? Remember how wigged out I was?
No.
I was totally wigged out about not seeing people.
Really?
Yeah. Yep. And the prospect of, I don't know, that the prospect of because they're talking about shutting stuff down again now for 3 weeks. How's that going to happen?
We've been shut down for the past 9 months. A woman could have gotten pregnant when it started, and her kid would be ready to pop right now.
What a time to have a baby. So here's a question. So coronavirus. So everyone's been talking about how the masks keep you safe, blah, 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 blah.
Well, it depends on which media outlet.
Yeah, okay. But
Because on one media outlet, they one side has been pointing to a Danish study.
Did you read the study?
No, I don't care enough to.
Right.
Which says not statistically significant. And recently, the other side has pointed to a University or Virginia Tech study that said cloth masks are great.
Now, the Danish study, was everybody wearing a mask in Denmark? Or they were just able to track?
The Danish study was people telling. Right?
Okay.
Kind of self-reporting. The Virginia Tech study was they used 2 mannequins.
What?
And they had masks on them, and they had like simulated bursts.
And then they asked the mannequins afterwards whether or not they were sick?
No, they had the mannequins they could observe because they had simulated bursts. So it doesn't seem like either one of those studies is particularly good.
So no, but here's the thing. So there's been a lot of, I know that there's been instances where you have like a work environment, for example, where everybody's wearing a mask, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's washing their hands.
Mm-hmm.
People are keeping their masks on when they're at work,
mm-hmm.
and yet there's still like outbreaks of like 2 or 3 people.
That's not an outbreak.
Well, but there's still 2 or 3 people who are interacting with each other who have contracted it. And my question is, well, how did that happen?
My question
because
is,
if they're washing their hands and wearing a mask, how did they get the virus?
Maybe they got it when they were making out in the bathroom. I don't know.
Oh.
But my question is, did they give it to each other, or did they get it at work or whatever? But another question is, well, maybe people need to start wearing that shit at home.
Well, they could have gotten it at home, independently. Oh yeah, fuck knows what goes on. Yeah, you're right. It could be people interacting outside of work.
Well, it's probably people interacting outside, but that's the whole thing. I mean, I'm not even going to say that. Screw it, because I was going to do the whole thing that everybody does, like, oh, it could be serious. I'm not saying it's fake, trying to sound like that they're not crazy.
Uh-huh.
Screw it. I don't know what it is, and I don't care.
You're going full boat crazy?
No, what I'm saying is, it just seems to me that everybody's going for a half-ass measure here, because they know that if they go for the full-scale measure, everyone's going to go, no. Because, seems to me the only thing that works is if you don't talk to anybody. So, okay, if it's 2 weeks, is that usually how long it takes? Supposedly, right? Haven't we heard that 2 weeks?
Yeah, but
where
does this 2 weeks number come from?
That's how long the virus, from the time you get it to the time you're not what is it?
But that's the catch cry of every person on the left of like, if we'd just done it right from the start.
Again. So let's do it right. You stay in your house for 3 weeks.
No food delivery.
You can't go out to get anything. Nobody can come in.
No grocery stores.
Whatever. Everything locked down, nice and tight. And we'll have roving bands of soldiers shoot anybody that's on the street. And those guys and gals can't go home either. So for 3 weeks.
That's not going to do anything.
Well, they're sitting there. I'm just talking about my observation, right? The only thing that seemed to work, according to them, because they say, "Oh, we need to stop talking to people because we're getting a spike here." Because right now, all it really seems like they're doing is we need to turn on the water tap at a low level, so that the number of people die, so that the stuff that happens is in a state that we can handle it. Don't want to turn the water on full boat.
But they don't know shit, dude.
That's not the point. That's not the point. My point is, the only thing that seems to work, according to them, is people not talking to each other and not interacting. So, if they're so cool about that, then 3 weeks. Now, everybody's going to sit there and say, "You're an idiot, Davey." Right?
Because that's not going to happen.
Well, number one, yeah, you're right. That's not going to happen, and all those people, all of our betters,
But even if
are going to sit there and say, "Screw you, we're going to do whatever we want," and do their thing.
our betters, yeah.
And everybody else is going to be like, "What are you talking about? We can't order anything from Amazon for 3. What do you mean you can't? We can't walk out. What do you mean? I need to make money. Everything's going to be locked down and closed."
So in this scenario, like, just think if it...
Yes, this scenario, which is also...
The impossible scenario.
No, I'm being blatantly idiotic. I'm being ridiculous.
Okay, but like, if the ridiculous scenario was possible...
It is possible. It's just not going to happen.
If it happened.
It's not going to happen. If it
No,
happens...
but I'm giving a potential scenario of what would happen if it happened.
So in the hypothetical, if
it happened... These people would still say they would find something to say, "Oh, it wasn't done right." Like, even if you did it, even if you did the true full lockdown that you're talking about,
then it should work though. So you're saying that even if that happened, it wouldn't work?
I don't think so, because they don't have a handle on how this. Because how did New Zealand happen then?
How the fuck should I know?
New Zealand was locked down. New Zealand was locked down, and
apparently not tight enough.
And everybody was in their houses, and there was the borders were shut down, and
the borders were not shut down. You mean members of parliament didn't go flying around back and forth?
I don't know.
People that had the money weren't walking around doing stuff that they wanted to do?
I don't know.
Well, then, see there?
But assuming that it was locked down and truly locked down, how did this virus just re-emerge when everybody came out of their houses? Because they did it right.
The proof is in the pudding, right? No, they didn't.
Well, but what if they did and they have no idea about how this virus operates?
Okay, so if that was the right way to go and then even that didn't stop it?
Correct.
Then there is no stopping it.
Right.
There is no stopping it, so basically this is the way everyone wants us to live. For whatever reason, I don't understand.
Well, isn't that them?
Actually, I do understand. There's a few people that think that this is the massive transfer of wealth from the poor to the rich.
But the poor don't have wealth.
Sure, they do. Everybody that buys something off of Amazon makes the shareholders of Amazon very better off.
I don't think poor people are shopping on Amazon.
Yeah, they are.
Really? Then they're not really poor people.
Well, poor is relative. Poor in America is
Yeah.
Poor in America means that you're making almost twice as much money as the average person makes in Brazil.
We got basic cab.
Yeah. Oh, did you see that, or was that the story?
We talked about that before. You mentioned it, and I thought it was funny.
Yeah, I saw it. I was watching it because it was years ago, from the 90s, I guess.
Was it 60 Minutes or something?
No, it was John Stossel when he was kind of still doing his thing.
Yeah.
So he decided to see how poor is poor.
Uh-huh.
So he was talking to somebody who was poor in America, and it's like, do you have a house? Do you have an apartment? He's like, yeah. Do you have TV? He's like, yeah. Do you have cable? He's like, well, it's just basic cable. And then he goes to someone who's considered poor in India, and they were living in a shack, made of plywood, and their job was to clean up shit with their bare hands.
Right. Yeah, quite a little bit of a difference. Just a little.
They were scooping up crap, human feces, with their hands.
All I know is that, even the poor neighborhoods in America where they talk about poor and they show the police chase, I'm like, that's nicer than any school I ever went to growing up in New Zealand.
Yeah, but you didn't really... I know Compton gets a bad rap, but it's a lot nicer looking than North St. Louis, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it was through Compton.
Or parts of Detroit.
They showed some of these high schools, I was like, damn, that's a nice high school.
But yeah, so I don't understand what they're talking about with the coronavirus. It just seems like, you pick what you who you want to listen to and just go with that.
Dumb.